Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Circa, the brand new app from Audio Damage. So Circa is a 6-track looper primarily designed for experimental stuff, which is great because that's what I like. Right, so I'm going to give you a kind of it's not going to be a deep dive tutorial, okay, because it would be too long and I don't understand everything yet. I haven't even looked at the modulation stuff. Probably something I wouldn't use. It's all down to a lot of this is down to MIDI assignment and stuff like that. But this will give you enough to get you going. And if you like to do the type of things I like to do with this kind of looper, then you're golden. You'll enjoy this, right? So I'll give you a basic idea of what's going on. Now, I'm going to use this sound to start with, which is from Synth Master 2. And if you're interested, it's called Derelict Symphony Hall. I'm just going to turn the volume up at that a little bit. Right, I'm going to go back here. Now, this is your monitoring. This is your trigger level. Now, I would suggest that you make sure this, if you're going to use it like this, because I want to have audio come in when I play a note, right? If you click on here, you have different trigger levels: sync, free. If sync is on, it will start to record as the first layer comes back around again, sort of thing. But I like to just want to record this kind of free and trigger the audio when I want to. This is your monitoring, of course. And this is your input level, and this is your trigger level. So you can see this little triangle here. If you've got loads of noise, you might want to move this up. This is your input. We're going to main input. This is your feedback. This means that if you're recording overdubs, so you can record overdubs on each loop, if this is turned down a little bit, each previous recording will eventually disappear, sort of thing. I'm going to leave this on full for now. And we have various things here. Now, the important thing to remember here that is the layer settings, right, change for each layer. Okay, so for example, if I go to layer 2, you'll see the trigger is sync. Well, I want all my triggers to be on audio. So as I go along now, that's what I'll do. So first of all, just to do a bit of getting started, all I need to do is, and I'm not using the host sync, I want to use this as a completely free running thing. I'm just going to press record, and it's going to wait for the input signal to come in, and then you'll see it will start to record. So when you're done, just press stop. Now, the next time you hit this, you're in overdub mode, okay? So if you tap this again, you can overdub over the loop you've just recorded. And it'll just jump back around to the beginning. Now, a couple of things that you're going to need to know. If you want to delete this loop, you can press this X button here and it will delete the audio loop, but it will retain the length, okay? If I undo this little undo button, if I want to erase portions of this loop, so for example, a bit here, I'll hold the erase and it will erase each portion that I decide to hold. So some interesting effects can be achieved there. Let's undo that. If you want to delete the entire loop and start fresh, this is the stop button. This is the play button, obviously. Long hold the stop, and it will erase the entire loop, and you're back to being able to record whatever you like. If you've got loads of loops recorded, obviously you can do them independently. If you long hold the all stop button, it will erase all the loops and put Circa back into its kind of default position. So let's just start that again. We'll select this first one, make sure we're on audio trigger, and I'll just record in some stuff. And it's now recording. We'll take a look at a few other bits and pieces, shall we? Okay, so I haven't looked at bus sends yet. I have looked at the manual, but it's just, you know, I can't remember. So for each independent layer, you've got your layer settings, like I said. You've got the filter, so you can have a different filter on each layer. You'll see there's none on this one, but I've got a low pass on here. And you've got low pass, band pass, high pass, notch, and none. So obviously, now you can automate all this stuff with LFOs and stuff. As you've seen, you've got access here to absolutely everything in Circa, so you can modulate away as much as you like. Now let's look at the playhead things. I'm going to turn damping down for a moment and make sure that quantize is switched off, and now I can freely move this playhead wherever I like. Closer I get to 0, the slower it's going to go, and 0 will literally stop it, and then I can go in reverse. Okay. If I switch quantize on, it will jump to the nearest time division. So for example, if I go to, say, here, it'll jump back to here. If I go to, say, here, it'll jump back to -1. If I go to here, it'll jump to -2. So that's quantize. Damping is how much it will slow the speed. So if I turn damping full up, if you watch the little arrow at the top, you get that like tape stop effect, and then it'll jump back if quantize is on. So we're over halfway, so it'll jump to this. So if I go, if quantize is off, you can freely move this stuff around as you wish. I'm going to switch quantize back on just for a sec. So that's what damping does though. Then you have your effects down here. Now we need to go into levels here to apply effects. So if we want to apply some reverb send to our first track here, pan it. Okay, and adjust the level. Or send delay. You wouldn't much hear much delay going on there. So that's how you send your effects around and stuff. And this is where you can adjust your effects. So but don't forget, these are your global effects. There are no independent effects per layer sort of thing. Okay. Awesome stuff. Now you have some envelopes here, so play envelopes and record envelopes as well. You can play around with those. That's, you know, entirely up to you. Let us record another layer in. So first of all, we want to find another sound. Now I'm still monitoring, so if I play some keys, you'll hear them. But let's go and find another sound inside of this. And I'm on soundscapes, which is fine. So what's this? So that's quite nice. So I'm going to use that sound. I'm going to sort out my monitoring. I'm going to go on to layer 2 anyway, but I'm going to sort out my monitoring. It's quite loud, you see. You see we're peaking there anyway, so just go and sort that out in your input. Okay, so like before, it's a little, in fact this is quite loud, so I can up the level a little bit. I'm going to make sure my trigger level is on audio for this second layer, otherwise You have to go through the whole rigmarole of deleting the entire thing again because, you know, you've made a mistake and it's on rate or sync or whatever, and it'll just not record when you think, why isn't it recording? But you have to wait till it comes back around again, right? Because this is kind of your master loop length timing kind of thing, I think, from what I gathered. But I've just got to arm record, and now it's just waiting for me to input, so I can jump in anytime I like. Press stop when I'm done, and here we go. So now I can slow this one down. Take it off quantize. I'm going to go into levels, bash a load of reverb on that. Turn the level down a bit. Now I've got this kind of cool drone in the background. Let's go back to this layer a second, look at slices. Slices will put in, depending on how many slices you decide, it'll put in slices like that. Obviously 2, now we've got 4 slices, and you can then use this to just perform, and yeah, I think you can have up to 16. Take slices down. We can control the position and the length as well. We'll get onto speeds positions in a sec. Let's record another loop. So we've got this second one's running super slow, just creating that nice kind of ethereal backgroundy type thing. Let's turn the level down for that. Let's go and find another sound we can put in over here. That sounds quite nice, actually, that chord. Let's go to 3 and look at our input as well. Turn that down a little bit. Now, see, trigger settings on sync. I want this to be audio because maybe a bass note in there as well. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant for ambient. And this is how I would always use Circa. This is how I do it. You can, of course, save your presets as well. So I'm just gonna arm record and jump in whenever I feel like. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Go. Now let's reverse this and slow it down. So it's -1 now. I'm going to choose, in fact, I'm going to bring this in so you can see, choose the length of where it starts. Let's look at speeds. You can control the speeds from this global screen here. This is your damping, and this is your quantization. So you can control that for each of these here, and say, for example, you've got complete control. Of course, if quantize is on, it will snap. Go back to number 2 there and turn that down a little bit. You can start panning this stuff around. Oh, it's lush. Oh, I think it is. I think it's great. But the more you experiment, the more cool stuff you can get. You know, put some vocal samples or some drums in and mess around with them. Oh, that's nice. Then you have position, so you can see exactly at a glance the overall view of your project and what's going on, and you can still change all this stuff, you know, from here, and record and stop, etc. Look at this, how slow this one's going. Let's find another sound, shall we? If you're enjoying the video so far, please strike the like, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron. That would be very cool. If you're watching this via Premiere, by the way, thank you very, very much. It's much appreciated, as always. You can close down the views here, like this, or open them up. But it's easier to see it all, I think. So let's go and find another sound. And sound effects. I'm in a kind of a experimental mood today. Doesn't really matter what you play, because I'm going to manipulate it anyway, so okay, let's do something silly like that just for fun to start. And I'll demonstrate the overdubbing as well. So like I said, we can, this would just be overdub, but we're going to start with this. So it's going to wait for an input for me, and then I can just, here we go. Ah, look. Right, now let me stop this. You see what happening? It waits for the next trigger point to come round because it's synced. So we don't want that. I certainly don't. I'm going to just erase that whole loop by long holding stop. I'm going to change this to audio, go back to this, and then just put this in. Okay, I'm just going to stop that there. Play with the effects. Delay. We've got a global EQ, so the main bus EQ. compressor. Now I'm going to slow this down. Quantize off. Oh, it's epic. See what I mean? You can just play random notes in and you're going to come up with some really lush, kind of massive texture. And we've still got 2 tracks we can use. So if I want, look, here's what's going to happen. If I press this now, it's going to overdub onto this. So I'm going to hit this. Bit loud really, but it doesn't matter for the purposes of the demo. Okay, and now I'm back into waiting. See, there's what we've just overdubbed. But you notice the cool thing now is it's ignoring my speed I've set here and it's just recording it over the top of our slowed down version, which means we can slow this down or speed it up as with the track now. Actually, it's not too bad. I'm going to actually go into levels and turn down number 4 a little bit. I'm going to go in here, set my trigger to audio, go and find some kind of other sound I can use. I'm going to slap a limiter on this. Oh, actually sounds pretty cool. Let's record that in. So, like I said, I'm selecting on the right one. Trigger is audio to start, which is brilliant. Just arm it to record, and I'll just jump in. Actually, do you know what? That's a bit loud. I'm gonna. Hello. Not too bad. I'm just gonna reduce the input a little bit. And stop it. There. Let's reverse it. Now, if we stop all and then press it once, it will reset to where your buffers start. You can see that one starts slightly there because we have made an adjustment. So these are all things that you can use to kind of work out what you want to do with the looper. Let's start and play all. Now, remember what I said. If I long hold this, it will erase everything and set it back to a default state. So be careful when you do that. play all, of course. I'm just going to play. We can slow it down. It's really cool. And if we didn't like it, like I said, make sure you're highlighted on the layer you don't want. Long hole that, because I don't really think that fits in with the vibe. I'm going to set it back to here and look for something else that's kind of maybe a fit. Or we could put in a file. Let's put this in. Maybe look for some kind of file from Daniel.
I'll tell you why. Do you understand? Yes.
Let's find something a little bit longer.
You just don't understand, do you?
Yeah, that'll do. Put that in. And load that into the file player. Here we go. I'm going to have this on loop, right? So I'm going to on record. Now all I need to do is hit play on here and it's going to loop that round. So
you just don't understand, do you? You just don't understand, do you? You just don't understand, do you?
So that'll do. Stop record.
You just don't understand, do you? You just don't understand, do you? Understand, do you? Just don't 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 understand. That's not what's it. 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 That's not what's it.
Oh, it's just epic.
That's not what's it. That's not what's it. That's not what's it. That's not what's it. You just don't understand, do you? That's not what's it. That's you just don't it. That's not what's it. That's not what's it.
Let's get another last loop in here, and then I'll try and save this one.
That's not what's it. That's not what's it. That's not what's it.
What could we put in here?
That's not what's it.
Let's see. Oh, I know.
That's not what's it.
There's one in font stack here that I like. I'm just going to hook this up to my keyboard. Searching for a font stack. So, sound font, sorry. Here we go. This one. Just going to stop this a sec. Let's make this louder. Fab sound font that is. Right, let's get back here. Let's look at this. Let's record that in. So for now, I'm just gonna let me play all for a sec. just gonna record that in. I've only got a couple of these running now, so again, make sure I am on audio trigger. Return to 0, by the way, will select the number of measures for any particular loop you're on, and then jump back to the beginning and start again. So you can use this to sync everything up, sort of thing. Probably not something I'd use because I'm more into the freeform idea of Circa, you know. Has been a playground for manipulating your loops and stuff once you've recorded them. So again, I'm just going to tap this and just record that in. Here we go. Done. Slap loads of reverb on there. Some delay. And set this a bit quicker. And then I can go back and start off my loops again.
Just don't understand, dude. 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 Just don't understand.
Okay, now, like I said, don't forget you can go and play around with the overall view sort of thing for the positions and the speeds. And you have some settings. You can name each of these to give you a reminder of what's going on.
Just don't understand, dude. Just don't understand, dude.
Okay.
Just don't understand, dude.
So I'm just going to stop all and go into our little disc icon here, which is our saving thing. And I am just going to, let's see, save this preset, and I'm just going to hit random name until I find one that sounds Shallow Insight. That sounds all right. And hit save. And now I think it'll be in there. Yes. And then this is one that I did earlier called Truthful Loop. And guys, if you've watched this via Premiere, thank you very, very much. I'm going to play out this loop. I'll start by, I think, switching them all. Yeah, all off. I did this with, I think it was Rob's. I used Rob Jackson's apps. So I'm just going to start one at a time. Thanks so much for watching. I'll put a link in for Circa in the description. I don't think it's very expensive at the moment. I think it might be an introductory price. I honestly don't. I can't remember. I think it's something like, I'm not sure if it's like $9.99 or something. But anyway, it's really, really good. If you like experimenting with loops, it's more like if it was a tape machine kind of thing. Anyway, I'll close the microphone. Bless you all. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, we'll just build this up, and I'll just have a mess around with it for the next 5 minutes. Ta-da! This was Analogy XS from Rob Jackson, by the way, I used for this. And some other bits.